What letter we going to? We going to the West?
Let's go to the West. That's exactly what I pulled up. AFC West. Now let's start with them Denver Broncos. Now, I've never been a Sean Payton fan. He's still there. They got rid of Russell, and thank you very much. I don't know what he's going to do, but we thank you very much. Now, they picked up Zach Wilson. I don't know why in the world they picked him up with a completion percentage of 60. Now, they got the rookie Bo Nix. Now, I like him. He about 30. He about one of the oldest rookies I think I've ever seen.
Is he really that old?
No, look him up. I think he's pretty old. Now, they did do something. They got 3 defensive linemen. They got one of the main ones I realized and noticed was they got John Franklin Myers from the Jets.
He's 24.
The Broncos played some good games, and Russell did actually decent quarterback-wise last year. He finished with 3,000 yards, over 3,000 yards, averaging 204 yards a game at 66.4 completion. So if Russell wasn't the total problem of the team, but anyway, that's the Broncos. The Kansas City Chiefs, what can you say about Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs and Travis Kelce Swift? They picked up Carson Wentz. I thought he was retired and at home like Joe Flacco. And they picked up Marquise Brown, who is related to Antonio Brown, but he is already injured. They picked him up on a 1-year, $11 million deal, but he's already injured. And defensive lineman Chris Jones. Wait for it. They paid a 5-year contract, $158 million. Listen, he's I was gonna say priceless, but they put a price on it, $158 million. Now Patrick's completion percentage is only 67.2, but that doesn't mean a hill of beans. Really, when you get him in the game and he wants to win the game, he will win that game on 1 foot if he has to. So moving on to the Las Vegas Raiders, Antonio Pierce in his first full year as head coach. Now they have Kevin O'Connell, whose completion percentage was 62.1, and they picked up Gardner Minshew, who was the backup for Anthony Richardson at the Colts, but now he's going to be the starter for the Raiders. Listen, Minshew had some good games. The Colts were looking decent. And I think if Jonathan Taylor had stayed healthy, because he led the NFL in yards the year before, I think if he'd have been healthy, they would have been a little better. Now, they did sign a defensive lineman, Christian Wilkins, to a 4-year, $110 million contract. Now, Antonio Pierce had those Raiders at an energy level that was unbelievable. And they tied, what was it, the 49ers or somebody the other night? I think it was the 49ers, 24-24. Listen, I would not be surprised if the Raiders are competitive. Do I think they'll beat the Chiefs? Of course not. But I think they will be better than the Chargers because Jim Harbaugh, now, they signed one of my former favorite players, Bud Dupree, to a 2-year, $6 million deal. I had high hopes for Bud, but he got hurt, never came back strong. Now, they picked up J.K. Dobbins from the Ravens on a 1-year deal, and they picked up Easton Stick for 1 year. They re-signed him for a 1-year deal. So now Justin Herbert got plantar fasciitis. He was in a walking boot. His completion percentage was 65.1. Now, Harbaugh, I don't know if it was a publicity stunt, but said he was going to hire Kaepernick. Showed Kaepernick with a jersey and him standing side by side. And in less than 24 hours, that statement was retracted.
I thought he was saying that he was going to be a coach.
A coach, right?
Yeah.
Well, they X'd that before the ink got dry on the paper. They X'd that. So, but I've never really cared for him because he did get the punishment from the NCAA, which I thought was a joke because y'all should have punished him long before he left the NCAA. He ain't never coming back to the NCAA. So I thought that was a crock of crap that they let him do all of those things that they supposedly he violated, and they still allowed them to go to the game and win and all that, whatever. Anyway, I think the Chiefs will win that division, the AFC West. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
their division is like, I don't want to say it's not competitive, but it's kind of like the Chiefs have started to dominate over them. Now, we've already seen that the Chiefs are they're beatable.
Yeah, they're beatable.
They're beatable. And stuff that times that we be like, y'all lost in that game. Because the Broncos give the Chiefs a run for their money. Last year they did. But
that was with Russell.
That's what I said.
Russell.
But it was with Russell. So we want to say, because Bo Nix, he's 24. Okay. He's not that old.
He that old. Well,
I mean, come on. He just graduated from college. He can't be that far. But yes. Yes, that was with Russell. So I do agree that the Chiefs are going to, they got a Chiefs Kingdom is still going to end up there. Now, are they going to do a three-peat?
Probably. I wouldn't put it past them. I really, who's going to beat them? Who's going to beat them? Who's going to beat them? Who's going to beat Patrick? I would love to sit here and say the Steelers are going to beat the Patrick.
I know. I was waiting for you to say what you was.
But do I really believe that? Of course, in my heart, I want to say the Steelers can beat. But do I really believe that the Steelers can beat the Kansas City Chiefs and get to the Super Bowl? Realistically, my heart says yes, my mind says no. Now, every year I do in my mind say that the Steelers are going to the Super Bowl, but I'm not sure that's going to happen this time. But I'm just saying.